All right, so get this. You sent me a ton of stuff about different kinds of yoga, and I'm realizing it's a lot more diverse than I thought. Like way more than just downward dog in a dimly lit room.
Yeah, it really is. People often think of yoga as just one thing, but it's branched out in some really fascinating ways.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, let's break down all these different styles. What I'm really curious about is, are there any like surprising benefits or maybe even some like lesser known facts about these different yoga practices?
Definitely. Let's start with Hatha yoga, often considered kind of the foundation for most physical yoga styles. It's known for its gentle stretching and controlled breathing. But what's interesting is that while it's great for beginners, Hatha can also have some unexpected benefits for more experienced yogis. Certain breathing techniques in Hatha can actually stimulate the vagus nerve, which plays a key role in calming the nervous system and reducing stress.
Wow. So even though it's seen as like a gentle practice, it can pack a powerful punch when it comes to stress management.
Exactly. Now, how about we flow into Vinyasa, which builds on those Hatha poses, but links them together in a continuous sequence synced with the breath. It's more dynamic and physically challenging, but there's a misconception that it's all about the fitness aspect. Actually, Vinyasa can be incredibly meditative because you're constantly moving with your breath, and it can help quiet the monkey mind and bring you into a state of present moment awareness.
That's really interesting. So it's not just a workout, it's like a moving meditation.
Precisely. Now, shifting gears to Ashtanga yoga. This one is all about structure and discipline. Following a set sequence of poses, you might have heard of the Mysore style. It's a self-led practice where you work through the sequence at your own pace, but under the guidance of a teacher. What's cool about Ashtanga is that as you progress through the series, you start to develop a deeper awareness of your body and breath, almost like an internal dialogue. It becomes this incredible tool for self-study.
So it's not just about like memorizing poses, it's about cultivating that mind-body connection.
Absolutely. Next up, we have Iyengar yoga, which is known for its precision and use of props. But here's something you might not know. Iyengar can be particularly helpful for people recovering from injuries or dealing with chronic pain. Because of its focus on alignment, it can help retrain muscles and improve joint stability.
So it's not just for the hyperflexible yogis. It has therapeutic applications too. That's fascinating.
It really is. Now, how about we turn up the heat literally with Bikram yoga? It's practiced in a room heated to 105 degrees Fahrenheit with a set sequence of 26 poses. But Bikram's not just about sweating buckets. The heat is actually intended to mimic the climate of India where yoga originated. The idea is that the warmth allows for deeper stretching and can help release toxins from the body.
That makes sense. So it's more than just a hot yoga class. It's about recreating that original environment.
Exactly. Okay, let's shift to Kundalini yoga. This style incorporates postures, breathwork chanting, and meditation, with the goal of awakening the Kundalini energy, often described as like a dormant energy located at the base of the spine. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Some people believe that practicing Kundalini can actually enhance creativity and intuition. The idea is that by activating this energy, you tap into a wellspring of inspiration.
That's intriguing. So it's not just a spiritual practice. It could potentially unlock creative potential.
Exactly. Now, ready to slow things down, let's talk about yin yoga, which involves holding poses for several minutes at a time. While it's amazing for flexibility, yin also targets the fascia, that web-like tissue that surrounds our muscles. By releasing tension in the fascia, it can improve range of motion and even reduce chronic pain.
So it's a slower practice, but it's working on a deeper level to create more lasting change.
Absolutely. And speaking of deep relaxation, let's move on to restorative yoga. This style uses props to support the body in passive poses, allowing for complete relaxation. But what's cool about restorative yoga is that it can actually lower your heart rate and blood pressure. It's like hitting the reset button for your nervous system.
Wow, it sounds like the ultimate antidote to our always-on culture. I'm already feeling more relaxed just hearing about it.
It's truly a powerful practice for calming the mind and body.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already. Where do we go from here?
Let's get into some of the more dynamic and modern styles. Starting with power yoga. This one is a vigorous, fitness-focused offshoot of Vinyasa. What sets power yoga apart is its emphasis on building strength and endurance. It's a great way to challenge yourself physically and can even be a gateway to other fitness activities.
So it's like taking the intensity up a notch. It sounds like it would appeal to people who love a good sweat.
Absolutely. Now, how about we defy gravity with aerial yoga? It involves using silk hammocks suspended from the ceiling to perform poses. What's fascinating about aerial yoga is that while it looks intimidating, it can actually be very therapeutic for the spine. The inversion therapy aspect helps to decompress the vertebrae and can even relieve back pain.
That's surprising. I wouldn't have thought hanging upside down could be good for your back.
Right. And finally, we have acro yoga, a blend of yoga and acrobatics. It's usually practiced with a partner and involves balancing, counterbalancing, and lifting each other into various poses. What's unique about acro yoga is that it requires a lot of trust and communication. It's a great way to build connections and learn to rely on others.
That's really cool. It sounds like it takes yoga beyond the individual practice and brings in like a social element.
Exactly. So as you can see, there's a whole world of yoga out there, each style offering its own unique benefits and challenges.
I'm blown away by all the different variations and like the depth of each practice. It's clear that yoga is so much more than just stretching. It can be a tool for stress management, self-discovery, healing, and even creative expression.
It really is a multifaceted practice. It truly is a journey of exploration both on and off the mat.
Okay, so with all this amazing variety, how does someone even begin to choose the right style for themselves? I mean, where do you even start?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Hmm.
Well, I think the first step is to really get clear on your goals. What are you hoping to gain from your yoga practice? Are you looking for stress relief, physical strength, increased flexibility, or maybe a deeper connection with yourself?
Right, it's about figuring out what you're looking for before you jump in.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to think outside the box. Maybe you're drawn to the physical challenge of power yoga, but you also crave the stillness of yin. There's no rule that says you have to stick to just one style.
So you can like mix and match, kind of create your own yoga cocktail based on your needs.
Precisely. You could do a vigorous vinyasa flow one day, then unwind with a restorative class the next. It's all about listening to your body and honoring what it needs in each moment.
That makes so much sense. It's like building a personalized yoga menu.
I love that analogy. Now, thinking about your specific goals, based on all the materials you sent over, it seems like you're really interested in managing stress, improving flexibility, and exploring that mind-body connection. Am I right?
You hit the nail on the head. Those are definitely high on my priority list.
Well, in that case, I think you'd really enjoy exploring Hatha Vinyasa Yin and restorative yoga.
Okay, I can see how those styles align with what I'm looking for. Hatha for a solid foundation and stress relief. Vinyasa for a more dynamic practice. Yin to really sink into those stretches. And restorative to just completely unwind.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about mastering every pose or pushing yourself beyond your limits. It's about showing up on your mat with curiosity and an open mind.
Speaking of showing up, I imagine the teacher plays a big role in the experience too, right?
Absolutely. A good teacher can make all the difference. They can guide you safely and effectively, offer modifications for different levels, and create a welcoming and supportive environment.
So how do you go about finding a teacher who's the right fit? Feels a bit like dating, doesn't it?
It kind of is. I think word of mouth is a great place to start. Ask friends, family, or colleagues if they have any recommendations. You can also check out online reviews or social media to get a sense of different studios and instructors.
So do your research,
Yeah.
shop around a bit,
Yeah.
and see who you vibe with.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to try a few different classes before you commit. Every teacher has their own unique style and personality.
Once you've found your yoga soulmate, so to speak, what are some things to keep in mind as you embark on your practice? Any words of wisdom?
First and foremost, be patient with yourself. Yoga is a journey, not a destination. There's no need to compare yourself to others or strive for perfection.
It's about the process, not the pose, right?
Exactly. It's about honoring where your body is at in each moment and meeting yourself with calmness no matter what.
That's such an important reminder, especially in our culture, of instant gratification.
It really is. And speaking of being present, pay attention to your breath. The breath is a powerful tool in yoga. It can help you focus your mind, release tension, and deepen your experience.
So breathe deep, be present, and don't judge yourself. Got it. Anything else?
Oh, and don't forget to stay hydrated, especially if you're doing a more vigorous practice.
Hydration is key, always.
And most importantly, have fun. If you're not enjoying your practice, it's probably not the right fit. Yoga should be something you look forward to, not dread.
So find your style, teacher, and most importantly, find your joy.
Perfectly said. And, as we're talking about all this, it's important to remember that yoga is more than just a physical practice. It's a whole system that encompasses the mind, body, and spirit.
Right. I was actually going to ask about that. I've heard about the 8 limbs of yoga. What exactly are those?
It's fascinating, right? The 8 limbs are essentially guidelines for living a more meaningful and fulfilling life. They were outlined in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, a collection of ancient texts that form the foundation of yoga philosophy.
So it's not just about the physical postures. It's like a whole philosophy of living.
Exactly. The 8 limbs cover everything from ethical behavior and self-discipline to breath control meditation, and ultimately a state of liberation or enlightenment.
Wow, that's quite a journey.
It is. But here's the thing. You don't have to be a yoga master or even a regular practitioner to benefit from these principles. They're really just about cultivating a more conscious and mindful way of being.
So even if you're just starting out with yoga, you can start incorporating these principles into your daily life.
Absolutely. It could be as simple as practicing mindfulness while you're washing the dishes, or taking a few moments to breathe deeply before a stressful meeting.
It's about bringing that yoga awareness into every aspect of your life.
Precisely. And, as we delve into the philosophy of yoga, it's easy to get caught up in the details and complexities. But at its core, yoga is really about connection.
Connection to what?
Connection to yourself, to others, to something greater than yourself, however you define that. It's about finding that sense of unity and belonging.
That's beautiful. So it's not just about like bending and twisting.
Yeah,
It's about connecting on a deeper level.
exactly. And that brings us back to the question we posed earlier. What are you seeking from your practice? What do you hope to find on your mat and in your life?
That's such a powerful question. It really invites us to go inward and explore what truly matters to us.
It does. And as you continue on your yoga journey, keep that question close to your heart. Let it guide you as you choose your style, approach your practice, and ultimately integrate the teachings of yoga into your everyday life.
I think that's a beautiful way to frame it.
Yeah,
It's not just about the poses. It's about that deeper connection.
it really is. And it's a journey that can take you to some pretty incredible places, both physically and mentally.
Well, after this deep dive, I'm definitely feeling inspired to explore the world of yoga with like fresh eyes. It's amazing how much there is to learn and experience.
I'm so glad to hear that. And, as we wrap up our conversation, I'm curious, what stood out to you the most from all the different styles we discussed? What resonated with you on a personal level?
That's a great question. I think what really struck me is how each style has its own unique personality and purpose. It's like they each have a story to tell a different way of approaching the practice.
That's a wonderful observation. And it speaks to the beauty of yoga's diversity. There really is something for everyone, no matter your age, fitness level, or background.
Exactly. And I think the key is to approach it with a sense of curiosity and openness, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
to not be afraid to experiment and see what sparks joy.
Absolutely. That's the spirit of yoga, to explore, to learn, to grow, and to ultimately find what resonates with your soul.
Well said. A huge thank you to you for guiding us through this fascinating world of yoga. I feel like I've not only gained a deeper understanding of the different styles, but also like a renewed appreciation for the transformative power of the practice as a whole.
It was my pleasure. I always love sharing my passion for yoga.
And to you, our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've enjoyed the journey and are feeling inspired to step onto your mat and discover the magic of yoga for yourself.
And as you embark on your own yoga adventure, remember to keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep connecting to yourself, to others, and to the world around you.
Until next time, keep diving deep.